All right, now that it's running better, I'm gonna hook up the brake booster. I still haven't hooked it up yet just because I wanted to make sure the motor was running good first. So I've got this little piece. This came off the other carb and that's where it was located. It goes to this back nipple right here that I have capped off. So it goes from there to the brake booster pipe. I'm gonna do 2 clamps and then we're gonna see if it leaks or if it works. The brake booster is officially hooked up. It's got the little check valve in there. Let's see if you can see that right there. Goes around, clamps in. I have not looked at this line at all going to the front, so we're gonna start it, and if it runs the same, well, then it doesn't leak. So then I'll just go test it around the cul-de-sac and see if the brakes work better. Well, seems to be idling fine. Okay, I'm gonna push on the brakes and see if anything changes or if it feels stiffer. Oh, it's like cushioned, like a booster. Oh, that's so weird. And the idle really doesn't change, so that means it might be all right. Okay, let me turn it off, put all that back, and go drive it. Oh my God, that is so much better. Something in that, I cracked one of the idle screws, one of the screws on the carb, and it like started running completely different. It is so much better now. That thing must keep getting clogged or something. And the brakes are just so much softer and nicer. Ugh, so good. How you doing, bumpers? Hey, burbos. Hey, burbo. Tyrus, why are you eating a leaf? So, the bus runs pretty well. It's got this weird issue when you're driving it for a while. It seems to start bogging. I thought it was heat related, but then I could just crack one of the carb screws, one of the idle screws, or the jets, and then it starts running good again. So I think it's just kind of nastiness that's going through the system. So I think eventually it'll stop. At least I know the fix. Now what I want to do is finish just getting stuff working and yeah, stuff like that. So I've got a brand new blinker bright switch I want to put in. Steering wheel's kind of loose, so I want to look at that. I want to fix the seat. I'm gonna weld up. I'm just gonna weld this back together and then I'm gonna sew it. Hopefully that holds up. And then on the driver's side, the brake and running light isn't working, so I gotta figure that out too. Okay, I got the new lever, and this just came from J-Bugs, but it looks correct. It's got the weird white stuff for the wiring going down the side. Hey, get out of there. Just gonna cut the bag. And I just wanted to take it out to look at what's needed. So it looks like there's a plug in the bottom, so that's easy. There was vacuum stuff. I don't understand what that's for. So we're gonna have to, oh, that's on top. I don't know what the heck that's for. I'm gonna have to research that, the vacuum stuff, because that's broken for sure. So for sure, looks like steering wheel has to come off because it slips over the shaft. So let's see if I can get this horn off. So it looks like just the plastic comes off, the center plastic. Yep, there we go. Horn does work, so that's cool. Battery is disconnected, and I think all I'm gonna do is disconnect that wire and then do the big nut. This probably has like springs and stuff in it, so I don't want to mess with that. Yep. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that. One thing I'm gonna do before taking the steering wheel off is put the wheels straight. Okay, so wheels are straight. That is how it travels, and I know this is supposed to be the opposite way. So alignment seems fine on this bus. I don't know why the steering wheel's off so much, but when I put it back on, I'm just gonna put it the other way and it'll work out. Big nut on the steering is a 24. I should probably get an extension, but okay, not too tight. Awesome. Loosen the nut. Oh, okay, we got a nut and I assume a washer. No, I don't think so. Okay, just a nut. And, oh, yep, steering wheel comes right off. That is very convenient. You don't got to take those screws out. So that's good. Cool. I'm just gonna set that down. It was that way. So I always orientate stuff when I redo stuff. After doing some research and just kind of realizing things, I thought these were gonna be vacuum lines. They're washer sprayer pieces. So whatever, this gets pushed down, I would assume it releases and then it goes through and gets sprayed out the window. So that is broken off. What is unfortunate is that switch works fantastic. So I'm not going to replace it right now, not for 50 bucks. Maybe I can figure out another way to do that and figure it out. I don't know. Either way, we're going to focus on turn signal. Looks like there is 4 flathead screws. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to get those off. From here, I'm going to unplug the 2 plugs on the bottom. Hopefully, gentle. Maybe I'll put a screwdriver between them. So, hopefully they come off. There we go. 1. And obviously these haven't been moved in a long time, which makes sense. I mean, try to hold them. Oh, and not break them. Wow, that is... Okay, I'm gonna get it off. Okay, 2 plugs are off. The wiper switch does orientate, so this big old brass piece or copper or whatever it is, contact piece, goes on this side. Obviously, wiper goes on that side, doesn't go upside down or anything like that. Okay, let's see if it comes off. So, looks like the whole thing's gonna come out as one piece, I would assume. Don't know why. Everything's just crumbling. Okay, there we go. And the whole thing seems like it's just coming out. Okay, there we go, got it out. Okay, one thing that did come out is this weird clip that I'm gonna have to figure out where it goes. And I actually just looked at this one and it's got it. So hopefully I don't gotta put that back. And then there's this piece. It's a little, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it goes in here or if it tightens the steering column, but when I pushed it down, it tightened the steering column. So that might be a good thing. It does look like this one is missing this piece. So that's good. It looks like it just broke off the little tabs. So I don't need to figure out where that goes. So let's see if this piece comes off. Oh, well. Well, it looks like it's got little clips that I can just break off. Okay. What's going on here? Maybe it needs to be, yeah, a little bit of prying. So it looks, oh, so it's on studs. So that's good to know, on little like dowels. So pry around it, and eventually it will come off if you, you know, want it to. Okay, so yeah, main thing is don't hold back the wiring. And pull everything off. Wow, okay. Okay, now that one's done. It does look like these plastic things clip in like that. So unclip little plastic piece, this thing, little separator, wire separator. Okay. Always clean stuff out and start slipping this back in on the pins. What I ended up doing, because this lower piece is so crunchy, is taking the pins out of it, putting them in the upper piece first, and then forcing the upper piece down into the crunchy part. Worked out really good. And then I'm assuming, put this guy down in there. Yep. And they probably clip together. There we go. And then you get it. Always spray off or, you know, blow out stuff. Okay. As you're slipping it down, make sure that the wiring goes in. Okay. Things just crunching. Okay. That seems like it's all the way down. So I'm going to get some of these screws and feed them through right away and get it started so it doesn't pop up. From here, I'm gonna plug everything back in. Kind of gonna hold everything down so nothing breaks, and put the plug back in. Luckily enough, the plugs go in pretty easy. Okay, and then I want to test it. I'm assuming the key needs to be on, so okay, we got power, and then left blinker. Is anything happening? I don't know. It's on, but it's not flashing. Still a good sign though. Okay, because it wasn't even turning on before. So, bam. Okay, let's make sure that one's turning on. Okay, they're both turning on, just not flashing. Same thing with the front. That side is on. And that side is on, so cool. So the switch is working. It must just be the flasher or wiring to the flasher. And I'll put this in my stash of parts because even though these broke off so it can't actually get contacts for the blinker, this whole assembly is still good. If someone has one that's broken off and needs it, just let me know. Okay, put the steering wheel back on. I'm gonna put it so that it is correct. I'm actually gonna get into the bus and make sure it is straight. Ugh. So, yeah. Seems good. Okay, put the nut back on. Make sure to tighten that pretty good. Yeah, okay, nice and tight. You don't want that coming loose when you're driving. Hook up the ground or the signal for the horn, and then put your center back in. Pop it in. Okay. It works every once in a while. So I'm hoping this is the issue, but if whatever, key's on, turn that on. Lights are on, right? Okay. Same thing with hazards. Let's just turn this off. Turn the hazard on, lights up. If I grab the flasher down here and I pull it out, it goes dead. So it is getting power through it, but I don't think it's flashing. So hopefully that's the issue. I can just replace it. Flasher, good. I should go see it in the shed if I have one. I don't, so I'll just have to go buy one or order one or something. Dash is dirty. Now I want to work on brakes and running because one side doesn't work. Other side works. This side doesn't work. Okay, lights are on. I know the passenger one works. So I've got it taken apart and I want to see where there is power and where there isn't power. So whatever, I'm just gonna find a ground. Could probably go anywhere, whatever. I'll just go to the block and I'll touch these pins. Okay, that one's got enough power. That one's got nothing. So let's see if those are power and ground. They are. So the back two are power and ground. Let's go to this one. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna touch the block being ground, and I'm gonna touch one of these pins, and it's got power. Okay, so let's see if the top one has ground. It does. So this technically should be working. So why is it not? I bet it's just connection on the bulb. Okay, got a little screwdriver, put a little bit of sandpaper on it, and hopefully I'll be able to clean up. Yeah, that connection's pretty dirty. So I'm gonna see if I can clean up these contacts. This is a brand new bulb, by the way, because I thought that was the issue to begin with. So put this guy in there. Okay, let's turn on the lights, see what happens. Lights are on. We do have a side one, which I didn't have before. And the bulb's on, yeah, awesome. So it was just the contacts. Even though the bulb was in there, it wasn't connecting right, okay? So I'm gonna put this bulb back in, make sure it works as well. Yeah, that way, okay. That one is obviously working as well. Okay, so I'm gonna try and put the brake down as if they are obviously engaged. Okay, and let's see if the brake's on. Brake is on, brake is not on. Now it switched. What the heck? Okay, it's lit up. I cleaned the contacts on that one as well, and the incorrect bulb was in there, so it doesn't have the offset pins, so I probably wasn't pushing back enough and connecting. Okay, so if I turn on headlights, we got running, we got headlight, we got running, we got headlight. Those are just markers or just reflectors. We got a side marker, we got a tail light, we got a tail light, and we got a side marker. Everything works. Yay. Key on, blinker is on, not flashing, but on. Right side is on, good. Now, eventually I do need to get the reverse light working, but it doesn't work. I'm pretty sure that's gonna entail getting back into the shifter stuff, which I don't really wanna do. But what I really wanna do is get this seat fixed a little bit. So I'm gonna weld this back together. I'm gonna clean it up, use my TIG to very gently weld it back up, and then sew the seat. First, I'm gonna sand off a spot that I can put a ground. Okay, that's good enough. And then I'm gonna sand off where I'm gonna be welding it. And I'm just gonna weld it on the side or even on this flat spot so it gets rid of that edge. From here, I'm gonna clamp these pieces together where I think they should be. Hopefully I can round off that edge with the welder. Got my TIG welder. That's very, very tangled. I'm gonna hook it up. Gonna turn on the welder. Let it start up for a second. My table is on my pedal. That's awesome. Oh, that is fantastic. Hopefully that still works. Put my pedal down. Make sure it's on DC, which, yeah, it was on DC. Cool. Turn on your gas. All right, I'm gonna set you guys down. I've got my mask. I've got a spray bottle just in case something goes crazy. And I'm gonna weld this up. Here ours goes. I'm gonna start on the edge and just try to get it to hold, and then I can get the vice grips out of the way. Okay, let's see if it'll hold. Awesome. Okay, now hopefully I can just blend it all together and not use any rod. It's working out so far. Okay, and let me do a few on this side. Looks good to me. I've got this sander. I'm just gonna make sure all of this is smooth and doesn't catch on the material, even though it's already messed up. Okay, cool. Now, sew it back up. Okay, first I'm just gonna put some like cotton pads over this, just so it's not as, I don't know, metally, even though the rest of it probably is, but I don't know, I think it's a good idea. I'm gonna tape it on, so give me a second. Yeah, cushiness. Okay, I've got some needle and blue thread, which, yes, white, off-white would have been nice, but we didn't have any. So this is what I'm gonna do. Please don't shame me for not being able to sew, because, well, I have no idea how, but I'm gonna figure it out. Definitely not too bad. In the beginning I was doing really good because there was enough material, but I think there's some material missing right here. So I just ended up going crazy and going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and hopefully that holds. Obviously I haven't sat on it yet, but yeah, looks better than it did. So with the blinkers turning on now but not blinking, I decided to replace that blinker relay right there. I think it's a 522 or 552, something like that. But I wanted to show you that they work. Key on. You can hear it blinking. And now they're blinking. Hazard works as well if I turn that off. So that's awesome. But when I turn it on, that light doesn't turn on. I don't think there's any wires going to it, so I'm gonna look at that right now. Okay, so I tested the bulb, and well, it works. It's not bad. And then I tested it with the ground, and it worked. And then I just put it back in there, and left, right. Just loosen your connections, clean them up, and put them back together. Okay, it's about time I make this piece to cover where the AC compressor should go, but I'm not hooking it up, so really need to seal this off so the motor is completely sealed. I should make it out of one piece, but I'm too lazy to go get more material. So I had a piece of stainless pipe that I had, or whatever, steel, something to TIG for like a 3-inch exhaust. I had it cut open, so straightened it out. This piece should work for one piece, and then I'll cut a piece out of that, make 2 pieces, paint them black. You'll never know. Like anything else, make a template of just something that will work. This piece is gonna be like stretched and moved and hammered, but at least then I'll know what dimensions I need. First panel is complete. Screws in over there, and then kind of nudges underneath that one and screws in. I'll probably have to bend this side up to start going to this, but I want to make this panel and kind of see where it goes. I did this little notch right here so that the seal, well, can fit in, because they cut this out for the AC, so hopefully it fits in there a little better. Second piece is complete. I'll try to smooth it out a little bit. So there's going to be a screw here, and then 2 screws there. I'm going to put some rib nuts, and it should be good. So I put 2 holes on this one, and then put 2 rib nuts on that side. The 2 screws go in there, then the seal sits around, all sealed off. I just need to paint it black. All right, that will do. Okay, off camera, I got one more thing fixed. I was diagging some stuff and figured it out. So the blower motor didn't work in the back for the heater. First of all, we were missing the little lever. So there's supposed to be 3 levers here. Don't know what the other 2 do, but I know this one, it's probably levels and stuff and changing stuff. Well, I switched it from being the one that faces this way to the one that faces that way. This is the one that's supposed to turn on the motor when you go all the way down. Well, it wasn't turning on. So I started looking at the back, seeing if the relay was messed up, whatever, and this little fuse right here didn't have any power. So it made sense, it had ground, but it wasn't getting power. And I was like, where is there an extra red wire? Oh yeah, the one that's down by the dang starter. I thought that one, you can see in my other videos, I thought it was a ECU power or something like that. Well, did a continuity, that's the wire. Hooked it up to the starter, and bam, power. So, you know, you go to the front, you put it all the way down, turn the key on. And you get a blower. Stuff is easy to fix and figure out. You just gotta do some diagging, guys. Look up some diagrams, trace some wires, you know, make sure there's continuity between things. It's not that hard. I mean, maybe it is, and I'm just used to it at this point with all these dang Volkswagens and cars. But either way, now we got a blower motor. So technically, it could have heat, but I just want it to cool down the exhaust. It's hot. There's the finished product. Came out pretty sweet. I don't think anyone would ever even notice. Now that the blower motor is working, we can hook up the hoses for that. I've got this little piece that goes here and pretty much jets it right towards there. And then the other one, I'm just gonna do a loop going in. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be another pipe or not, but I don't have it. So, gosh dang, this motor almost looks complete. Look at that. Got the tubes all in there, got the plate. Heck yeah. So I think the last thing I want to do today, even though it is running okay, is try to switch back to the other jets. The jets that are in it are from the other carb that came from the 2-liter. So yes, it's running okay, but it does seem like it's kind of rich. So maybe the other jets will help. I'm not sure. I don't know. Put them in. If it doesn't do anything, well, I'll just put them back. Okay, so main jet for the 2-liter was a 55, which was what I had in there because when I was testing stuff. The other jet that came out of the 1.7 was a 45. The rear jet was both 50s. So this is with the 45, and it's still idling pretty well. So I'm gonna let it warm up and then adjust the mixture screw and see what happens. I adjusted the idle mixture screw and it's a little off, but seems to be revving a lot smoother. Once again, realized I didn't do a outro, so here it is. I got a lot done, and well, now the bus can technically be street legal. It's got lights, it's got blinkers, it's got brake lights, and I can even turn on the blower if I'm worried about it overheating or whatever during the summer, or fully hook that up and use it as a heater. I want to thank everyone for watching these videos, putting some comments. I really enjoy it. On the next video, I'll be finishing up the interior. I'm actually going to be making some door panels pretty much from scratch. So, you know, finding material, using board, and gluing them together, cutting them out, and finishing the interior. Stay tuned for that. And like always, like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. High five out.